Good morning, my loves. Happy Sunday. It is a beautiful morning here at the lake. The birds are singing, the ducks are quacking, and all is right with the world. Well, in my world. I had several calls the last, over a week, I'd say 10 days, from parents, God love them, who are in a panic about their kids. Honey, let us sit down, pour a cup of coffee or tea, and have a chat. We all know the months of the year, right? We all know the seasons of the year. We all know that in summer, kids are out of school. Unless you homeschool, unless your kid is in year-round school, summertime, they're off. That usually hits mid to the end of May. By Valentine's Day, you should have a really good idea if your child is going to be passed on to the next level, to the next grade, if your child is going to have summer school, if your child is failing everything, and that's February, you should know what's going on. So by May, you have February, March, April to do something about it. By May, when you are informed your child needs summer school, your child is not passing on to whatever grade, that has now fallen into your lap because you allowed your child to get away with all of this. You had months to step in, intervene, do something about it, and you didn't. So before you come unglued at your child for screwing up everybody's vacation, for ruining the summer, it is time for you, my love, to accept responsibility for your part in this because you are a lazy parent. Plain and simple. You have control over your child. Use it. If you have to sit with them every day and study, if you have to fix dinner with them standing next to you, reading an assignment out loud, that's what you got to do. You have to accept responsibility as a parent. And it sucks, but it's the way it goes. So here we are, we're in May, and people are coming unglued. I'm getting the calls. Oh my God. Well, honey, you knew this. Did you expect the good fairy to come down with her magic wand and fairy dust and sprinkle it and have your child go from failing to passing overnight? So you need to do something about it. You need to make other plans for the summer. You need to cancel your vacation if that's what it takes for your child to go to summer school. I'm sorry, but y'all got yourselves into this as a family because you allowed it to happen. You sat by and allowed it to happen. So yes, the child is responsible for not doing the work, not turning in the assignments. Maybe they don't understand. Maybe they've come to you many times saying, I don't understand. Maybe your child has, they're dyslexic. They have a learning disability. Maybe they need glasses. Maybe you need to look into the situation and you didn't. Maybe you should. Now, start making alternative plans for the summer. You can still have a nice holiday because summer school doesn't last the entire summer. There are breaks. Take advantage of them. Take a short family trip for a weekend. Maybe your child is going to pass, thank goodness, but maybe it just never dawned on you. I love this every year. Well, I just didn't realize that school was going to be out. Honey, it's out the end of every May. Summer comes the same time every year. You know you are going to have to look into daycare for your child. You go through it every year. I get the same calls from the same people every year. I will try and guide you through it, but honey, it's not my problem. I don't have small children. You need to figure it out. School will be out. Can your child get into a daycare? And I know if you have a child 10 or 12 years old, that can be humiliating for them, but maybe that daycare will use them as an assistant so they don't feel quite as embarrassed. They can see it as the job. But if you're putting your child into daycare for the summer, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to go to the local police station. Don't make a call. I want you to go down there and ask them, have you had any complaints or reports about XYZ daycare? I want you to know what you're getting your child into. because your child's safety, physical, mental, sexual safety, is at risk. Let's make sure they're safe. If whoever you're thinking about putting them in with has had any complaints at all, think again. For me, they would be off the list. That's not an option. No. If you leave your child with someone, a babysitter, over the summer, know the person. And I don't mean, yeah, I know who they are, they live down the street. I mean, know the person and their family. You're trusting them with your child. Your child. If this person is a teenager and they're on their phone all the time, they have friends over to your home, they're not watching your child. Your child is now 8, 9 years old, learning how to roll a joint and use TikTok and online porn, and because this does happen more than you realize, the kid really isn't going to care. The teenager behind it really doesn't care. Okay, fine, they're fired. Big deal. They don't care. Your child is scarred forever. That falls into your lap because you made that choice. Be smart who you ask to watch your child, not just for summer, even if you're going out for date night. Know who's watching your child. Do not ask your boyfriend to watch your little girl. That's an accident waiting to happen. Don't do it. Get a licensed daycare professional. Get somebody you really know. Get a family member that you know and trust, a neighbor you know and trust. Most parents, I know when my son was younger, I mean, my son's 46 now, but when he was young, there were, his classmates and stuff. And if push came to shove and I needed somebody to keep an eye on Jeff after school, there were moms that I could call and say, hey, can Jeff come home with your kid and for a couple of hours? And it was never a problem. But know what's going on. Have a backup plan. As a parent, you should always have plan A, plan B, and plan C because you are going to use all three at some point. I promise you that. But be smart. If your child is going to a daycare, make sure they know of your child's food allergies, sensitivities, if your child has asthma, if your child has a seizure disorder, if your child is or is not vaccinated, because your child is an innocent victim to your decisions. And I have seen that go down the drain very quickly, many times. So, gonna go off on another path now. You are going on a family vacation, thank God. You're driving across the country, you're driving across the state. Please be smart. Keep things for your child to do in the car so they're not yammering, and kicking the back of the seat the entire time. Keep water in the car. Not soda, not juice, not tea, water. Caffeines are stimulants. It will disrupt the sleep cycle, and your kid doesn't need the sugar either. Keep water and healthy snacks, fruits and veggies, okay? Keep books in the car that your child can read. They can read out loud to you. Just keep them busy on the trip. Make sure that you have your health insurance in place because there are accidents on the road. You get out to look, at scenery, lookout point or whatever, and somebody trips and falls, scrapes their leg, breaks an ankle, twists a knee, whatever. You're going to need your health insurance. Please make sure you have health insurance. I don't care if it's Aetna, Cigna, Blue Cross Blue Shield, or Medicaid, which here in Arizona they call Access, AHCCCS. Whatever it is, get it for your child. Make sure you're insured and your child has health insurance. We do not have socialized medicine in the United States. You have to have insurance. It is not implied. You have to have it. Make sure the vehicle that you are in is insured in case you're in an accident. In my line of work, I see this every single day. People are in a car accident. They don't have any health insurance. Their car isn't insured or it's underinsured. It's just liability. It just takes care of the crash. And they have serious injuries. They don't have health insurance. If you have broken bones and they need surgical intervention to fix that broken bone, you may have one hell of a time finding a surgeon that's willing to take your case because you don't have insurance. Think before you travel. Just be smart. If your employer offers health insurance and you have not opted in, please opt in now. Monday morning, I want you calling HR and doing it. Please. It's important. If you are traveling, make sure your child's immunization history is, in your phone, in your purse, in a suitcase, somewhere. Make copies of all of your identification, your driver's license, passport, social security cards, everything. A list of all the medications that everybody's on, their, medical history, whatever. If they have asthma, diabetes, whatever it is, write it down. In case your bags are stolen, at least it will be in the cloud where you can access it from a computer, and you will have a photo ID to show who you are and who they are. Be smart, okay? I just want everybody to have a safe summer. Please be aware of the signs and symptoms of heat stroke and heat exhaustion for adults, for children, and for pets. If they start turning red and panting and sweating and they can't breathe, get them in the shade. Do not hand them a cold beverage. Hand them water. I don't mean hot water, but hand them water to drink. I don't care if it's a dog, a cat, a gerbil, a child, anybody. Give them water to drink and get them in the shade immediately. Be careful. Use sunscreen. This is just the first round of this. I will be speaking about this a lot this summer. I'm in Arizona. Summers here are brutal. We get up to 120 degrees. They end up closing the hiking paths because people are stupid. They will go hiking and not take enough water or not take any water. They don't use sunscreen. They have heat stroke, heat exhaustion. They die up in the mountains from stupidity. Can't say from ignorance, because to be ignorant, you don't have the knowledge. The knowledge is there. We give you the knowledge. You have to pick it up, read it, use it. Be smart. Be a good parent. Be a good person. It's not that complicated. Put your ego aside and take care of yourself and those you love. Plain and simple.